looks like Florida has found a solution to the hole in its educational system created by Ron DeSantis and every other goon who runs things over there. And the fact that, library books have been taken out of the libraries and entire chapters of American history rewritten, like slavery. What? It was actually good for a lot of slaves. And now they're enlisting the help of PragerU, which is a fake online education channel by Dennis Prager, who again, it just like, if you've ever seen like I've never pleasured a woman and I've never gotten high in my life, that face, like he has that face. He definitely has somebody in his basement. Like I'm not like, I don't know that, but I know that. Dennis Prager started PragerU, and they've done some takedowns of my videos, like, or attempted takedowns of like news broke videos and whatnot, because they're all against leftism and socialism. Anyway, now Florida Education Department apparently has approved PragerU as a vendor for their like elementary school material, educational material. Usually PragerU targets like older, angsty 14, 15, 16-year-olds or like whatever, grown-ass dudes. Now they're targeting kids. And here we are. I'm just going to play a little bit of one episode of two kids who go on different historic adventures. And this time they're meeting Booker T. Washington. And Booker T. Washington is telling them there is nothing wrong. Well, that they should not feel bad about slavery. Here is Booker T. Washington. First of all, this show sucks. It is a lot of talking. It's just like, doc, 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 doc. I like Ron DeSantis. Anyway, take a look.
I hate that our country had slavery. Mr. Washington, sometimes do you wish you could have lived somewhere else? Like a different country?
That's a great question. And I hate slavery too. But it's been a reality everywhere in the world. And even now in 1910, it's still happening in other countries. Despite our nation not always living up to our declaration that all men are created equal, I am still so proud and thankful to be an American.
Even though you were a slave?
Exactly. Because I was, and not anymore. America was one of the first places on earth to outlaw slavery, and hundreds of thousands of men gave their lives in a war that resulted in my freedom. So yes, I am proud and thankful.
Oh, yeah.
Francesca, you know what
We
makes
were one
America...
of the first to abolish. God, poor. I feel so bad for his family. Uh-huh.
You know what makes America such a special place is that we did slavery so that we could be heroic by ending slavery.
Yes. Why did no one talk about that?
That's why we're so special. You have to do horrible things so that then you can redeem yourself later.
Exactly. I hit you so that when I don't hit you, I'm a fucking hero.
Yeah.
So that's him being like, no, actually, because we abolished slavery, this country's amazing. And then here he is telling this this Karen in training, don't worry about what happened before. You don't worry your pretty little head about it. You just go pledge to some sorority.
We're really sorry that you have to deal with segregation and racism.
Your sympathy is nice, Layla, but know that you have nothing to be sorry about. You and Leo have done nothing wrong and have indeed been quite respectful. Future generations are never responsible for the sins of the past.
Okay, I'll keep doing my best to treat everyone well and won't feel guilty about historical stuff.
Good, you shouldn't.
Okay, I'll just like try or whatever. Like I'll be nice or whatever. Like I'm sorry you had discrimination, but I'll just keep drinking my rosé. Okay, I love this. Oh my god!
And that's how you make a Lauren Boebert.
That is exactly how you make. There's nothing you could do. No, don't you worry your pretty little head. There's nothing worse than a white girl being worried. That's terrible. Yeah, so there he is explaining that, yeah, no, kids do not, or nobody bears responsibility for historical wrongs. Here's what I will say. NATO, when you were learning about slavery in school, did you go home and were like, I can't believe I did that? Did you take it on personally?
Yeah, no. And not only that, I was like, man, this is really messed up. No, like, this shouldn't have happened, and we should correct the injustices. And I have kids. My kids are 15. They know about all this shit, and they like are aware and feel a responsibility to make the world better, but they don't feel bad about themselves about it.
Right.
They're just like, yeah.
And learning about it hasn't made them feel more guilty. Because I feel like, I mean, this is the whole thing about the right when it comes to like education and like, is that they've spent all this time being like, we got to be alpha. You got to be tough. Yeah, kids need to toughen up. You're so soft. You need a safe space. Blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, you can't hear about slavery because maybe you think it's your fault, even though you totally don't. And who the fuck teaches about like American slavery and blamed and you? Although I'd really like to see that. I would definitely like to be like, we're gonna dig into your past, NATO Green. Did one of your ancestors own slaves?
Well, you're right. I mean,
Layla, you've benefited personally. Here's how.
Right. I mean, but there's also, it's like, it's not just the historic wrongs, but it's like, I don't know about you, Francesca. From time to time, I enjoy a banana.
Oh, totally.
And I'm aware on an intellectual level that there's a direct line of violence from my 69-cent banana and people being murdered in Honduras.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like. So even though my family came to the United States after slavery was over, and so we're not directly implicated in the slave trade, like we are directly benefiting from the continued violence and exploitation of people of color around the world. I don't feel personally guilty about it, but I do feel some sense of responsibility about it. Like,
but
we are
that's the whole thing
capable of holding those complex thoughts as human beings.
Absolutely. But no, it is part of, I mean, speaking of grooming, this is perfect grooming of young, right-wing, fairly racist minds. It's basically like, yeah, all that is in the past. And any troubles that African Americans face today, it's their own doing. In fact, Booker T. Washington, cartoon Booker T. Washington, whitewashed Booker T. Washington goes on to basically be like, individual responsibility is number one and there's nothing you can do about it. And effectively, systemic oppression and racism is not a real thing. Legacies and histories of slavery, the way they still, yes, it's like if people are willing to accept Jim Crow, then aren't you willing to accept like systemic racism that continues today? Redlining? I don't know, like fucking the criminal, the prison industrial complex and criminalization of Black people. Like, can you accept any of those things? No. That's totally different. Police, no idea where they came from.
And I mean, and frankly, like there's also like a clear linkage to me of like, like earlier we were talking about Portland. Portland is a Democratic bastion, but nevertheless, in democratic cities like San Francisco and Portland, where we're actively criminalizing homeless people and people with drug addiction and camping, in the name of so that white people don't have to feel uncomfortable, like it's still built on the same, squishy ideology and worldview as this Prager stuff. I think we should have a free market ideas. I think it'd be fun to show Florida school children the PragerU videos and Drag Queen Story Hour and be like, all right, kids, pick. Which one do you like better?
What do you like? Oh, God. See, that's the thing. That's why they have to outlaw drag those, because they know they can't compete. They're like, let's pick the most fabulous thing that makes us feel horribly unworthy because we're so sad, boring, and repressed. And that's drag. Because this is, I'm telling you, it's not well done. It's just back and forth. Like, did you know that Dennis Prager has an 8-inch penis? No, I didn't. Oh, amazing. Like, it's just like them talking about like how great the right wing is. And how like it's just nothing but talky. It's boring. Dance, okay? Do something. Put on a fucking beat and a fit and other things. This is me trying to sound cool. But yeah, there you have it. I'm sorry, Florida kids. Dude, I mean, homeschooling? right? Is that the answer here? But I think they will resist against this. I mean, I don't know if your kids, NATO, were shown this in school. I think they'd probably have there'd be a lot of hands raised afterwards.
Yeah, what it's making me think of, I think when my kids were in, I can't remember if it was 3rd grade or 5th grade, they were in a school, it was a Spanish immersion school, it was 80% Spanish-speaking families, and they had to debate pro or con on Trump's immigration policy.
Oof.
So they had this staged debate, and it was interesting to see them like do the pro-Trump side of the debate. But then like it's very different when you're just like there's a bunch of immigrants there, and some of them don't have papers, and that's part of your community, and you're like, oh, these scary
Like,
immigrants
that's my
or whatever.
friend. Yeah.
You mean Felipe? Like, that guy?
Well, I mean, and that's the thing, like, ultimately, and you've viewed, county by county, going back to Trump, like county by county analysis around Trump voters were the people who lived in the least proximity to brown people, and especially immigrants, were the ones who were the farthest right. Like, the people who were afraid of taco trucks on every corner were the ones who more likely voted for Trump. People who had taco trucks on a corner were like, that's tight. I love it. Like, I love my immigrant neighbors. This is great. Small business owners, hard workers, amazing. Like, so good food, great. Bring it on. And that holds true. It's just the fear of the unknown and, the same kind of authoritarian, xenophobic bullshit that we've seen. But here we go. Prager, please make a video where you dismantle socialism using Francesca Fiorentini's News Broke videos circa 2017, because that'd be really, really fun, and just, introduce @FrannyFio to all of the kids in Florida. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.